guys, welcome back to my channel. It has been a little while since I have done you guys a video, so I'm so sorry. I have been so focused on short form content that I've forgotten about my long form content, and here I am. So today is a miserable, windy day. It's actually so windy that you may be able to hear it in this video, so if you do, I am so sorry. But because it's so windy, I thought, do you know what? I've got the house to myself. I really feel like something warm, snuggly, little cozy sort of treat and sweet treat in my mouth. So I've decided to make Nigella's sticky date pud today, which I have never made before, so I'm hoping it's going to be a good one. I have the recipe here. I will leave all of the description, all of the quantities. Every time I say this in the video, you'd think I would know how to say it, but clearly I don't. I will leave all of the quantities of the ingredients in the description box below. But first up, what we're going to do is we're going to preheat our oven to 160 degrees. So let's do that now. Put that on fan. Then additionally to that, I have got 200 grams of dates here that I have been soaking for the last hour or so in boiling hot water. I had 200 grams of dates with 200 mils of boiling hot water, along with a teaspoon of baking soda. So I had that sitting. The dates have gone lovely and sort of bouncy, if you like, if I can use that term. I'm just using soft pitted dates, but they've gone lovely and juicy and sort of taken on a lot of that liquid, which is great. Now we're going to blitz these up. So I have my trusty little hand whizzer here, but as you can probably see, I've got a bit of a technical issue where I can only go so far from the plug. So I'm just going to blitz them over here, just until they're a lovely sort of smooth consistency, almost a smooth paste. You don't want any lumps of date in there, so you just want to blend it up as much as possible. Alright, so that's all done, and as you can see, it's gone into, let's get rid of that, it's gone into a lovely thick paste. Now I don't think I've got everything fully, oh no I did. So as you can see, it's gone into like a lovely thick paste, which is what we want. And then that's essentially going to be the lovely flavouring for our cake. Next up, I have it's time to make the sponge, essentially. Now you can absolutely do this in a KitchenAid, or you can use a hand beater, but I've decided today, because God knows what's up with me, that I will make mine with a wooden spoon and a bowl. So first up, what we're going to need is some butter. Now I have 75 grams of somewhat softened butter. What should I do with that spatula? I softened it slightly just so that I could beat it together with hand. Then additionally to that, I have 50 grams of dark muscovado sugar that I'm going to add in. And then we're essentially going to cream this together until it is fully incorporated and all of that butter and sugar mixed in thoroughly. Okay, so next up, we can start to add in our treacle. Now, I unfortunately couldn't find any treacle in my local supermarket, so I have opted to use golden syrup. Obviously, it's not going to be as intense as it would be if I did use treacle, but I just, honestly, Australian supermarkets don't seem to have it. Not as commonly as what you'd find in the UK supermarket. So I have used golden syrup as an alternative. If you have treacle, use the exact same amount. If you have golden syrup, use the exact same amount. Now, made a complete mess of the side of this bowl. Now that I've got all of that in there, we can then beat that together until all of that has come together. Again, bring out the mussels and just mix that thoroughly until all of that has come together nicely. All right, lovely. Next up, we're gonna add our eggs. So I have 2 large eggs at room temperature. I'm gonna add in one at a time and then mix until all incorporated. Now that is coming together very slowly. I'm really starting to regret using their KitchenAid and not using the KitchenAid. I have my KitchenAid bowl over there that's dirty, and that's the only reason why I just didn't decide to do the KitchenAid. Now I'm really regretting being lazy. All right, 1 egg is in. Let's add that second egg. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch to a whisk just to get this fully incorporated. Thankfully, I have one behind me. Get rid of all of that goodness off of that spoon. And give this a good old mix through. Yeah, with the whisk, helps a lot better with the runnier mixture, and that egg. Trying to incorporate that egg into that butter was like looking like it was near enough impossible with that spoon. Okay, so we are nearly there. Now we're going to add in our delicious date paste mixture that we have literally just blitzed up. So we'll grab that, add that goodness all in. And now you'll also find that a lot of the sweetness of this pudding comes from the dates as well, because these dates are super sweet. But it is quite a low sugar recipe, so that's a good sign. All right, in all of that goes. And we're gonna mix that until all of that has come together nicely. And then last but not least, we are going to add in our flour and baking powder. And then that is essentially the batter done. It's so easy. So in goes 150 grams of plain flour. That last bit doesn't want to come out. There we go. And then 2 teaspoons of baking powder is going in there as well. And then give that a nice, slow and steady mix until all of that has come together and incorporated. We don't want to over mix it because we don't want our cake to be tough in any way. We want it to be lovely and soft. So we just want to mix it until it is all combined. Like so. Now I am using, I actually don't know what size this is, but I would say about a 7-inch baking tray. It's like a little dish that I've got. I'm going to use this, but before I pour my batter in, I'm going to pre-grease my tin. And to do so, I'm just going to use some butter. Just got a little nubbin here that I'm just going to spread with my hands around the outside of the tin, just to cover us so that our sticky date pudding doesn't get stuck to our tray, because we want lovely clean squares to come out of our pudding. We don't want it to be an absolute mush. Now that is looking pretty good, but I'm just going to really cover every single surface, every single centimetre of surface, because I just don't want my sticky date pudding to, sticky toffee pudding, is it sticky toffee? Yeah, sticky toffee. Did I say sticky date? Yeah, I did. We don't want that to get stuck. So that is looking pretty good now. All right, let me just wash my hands and I'll be back. Right, so now we're going to pour our gorgeous batter into our pre-greased baking tray. And we get all of that goodness in here. Now you can actually make this ahead. If you do make it, say if you're doing a dinner party and you want to make it ahead of, before your guests come, you can just bake the cake. So you bake the sponge, but just don't do anything with the sauce until it is serving time, because you want that sauce to be lovely and fresh and soaked in that sponge. Okay, so now all of that batter is in my tray. I'm just gonna level it out very slightly. And then we're gonna pop this in the oven, as I said before, to 160 degrees preheated fan oven for 30 to 35 minutes until we pop a cake skewer into the cake and there is no batter on the skewer. So we'll see you when it's baked. Alrighty, so our cake still has about 10 minutes left. It's perfect time to make the lovely butterscotch sauce. So to make the sauce, we need 150 grams of unsalted butter that we're just gonna pop straight into our saucepan. Then we have 300 grams of our dark muscovado sugar. Now I've actually just split my sugar up into 2 bowls just because I didn't have a bowl big enough that was spare. So 300 grams of dark muscovado sugar total. Then we are going to add in 15 mils of our treacle, but as I said before, I couldn't find any treacle in the supermarket, so I'm just going to go for a nice hefty spoonful of our golden syrup. And then we're essentially going to pop this onto our gas at a medium heat for roughly around 5 to 8 minutes until everything is melted, sort of come together as one, and then we can add in, once everything has come together, we can then add in our 200 mils of cream, but we don't want to do that too early, so I'll show you what I mean. Over to the hob we go. Alright, so we want to keep an eye on it, making sure that the sugar or the butter doesn't catch at the bottom of the pan, but we do just kind of want to let it do its thing, because essentially we need to wait for the butter and sugar to fully melt before anything sort of comes together, so we'll just leave that be. Alright, so as you can see, our lovely butterscotch sauce is starting to come to a bit of a bubble, so all of the sugar is lovely and melted in with the treacle and with our butter. So now we can start to add our cream. Now just to be very, very careful here, because obviously the cream is cold, our sugar mixture is very warm. We just want to be really, really careful because this will start to get a bit smoky, and we want to keep mixing it so we don't seize any of our butterscotch sauce. So just add it in a little bit at a time. Like so, and then you can start to see our lovely butterscotch sauce come together nicely. Now I like to add a little pinch of salt at this very moment. Nigella, the queen, doesn't tell us to, but I just think a little bit of salt doesn't hurt anyone, and it makes it a lovely salted butterscotch sauce, which just kind of combats a little bit of that sweetness of our delicious pudding. Alright, so now the rest of the cream goes in, and we'll give that one final mix until it's all come together nicely. And then we can pour this over our gorgeous sticky date pudding that has just come out of the oven. And I've just said date pudding again, sticky toffee pudding. Alright, you guys, our delicious sticky toffee pudding has come out of the oven. I have prodded some lovely little holes with my skewer into the cake so that our delicious butterscotch sauce can soak into those holes and make friends with our pudding. So we have our very, very warm butterscotch sauce here that I have just had on the heat for a little bit, and it's now just starting to cool down, but it is still quite hot. Both ingredients want to be quite hot when we do this next part. We're going to pour a quarter of our butterscotch sauce over the top of our pudding. So here we go. Yummy! This looks so good. Alright, I think I poured about half of it over, to be very honest, but that's not an issue. We want to aim for about a quarter, and then basically we want to leave this to sit for about 10 minutes, and we want that sponge and that delicious pudding to absorb all of that gorgeous butterscotch sauce, and then it is time to eat. Alright guys, we are back. Our gorgeous sticky toffee pudding is all done. I actually feel like I need to give you guys a close up because look at that. Yum. It looks so good. The butterscotch sauce has like seeped into the sponge really nicely. It just smells like winter. It's just perfect for today. It's still really windy. It's still really cold in this house. So it is the perfect day to eat it. So let's eat it. It's time to cut a nice little slitherin of this bad boy. I'm going straight in with my spatula. Oh, look at that. Did you see that? That just slid right on out. Oh, I can already tell this is gonna be delicious. Do you see that? Do you see how moist that is? This is gonna be delicious. All right, now we only put, I mean actually I put about half of the sauce on. You can put a little bit more on. I have some leftovers that I'm just gonna put on a little bit. I'm not gonna put too much on because I don't need too much, but I'm just gonna put a little bit extra on because, you know, why not? You can add custard, you can add cream, you can add whatever else you want to this, but I'm just gonna eat it just as it is. I'm so excited to try this. It's so moist. It smells incredible. Oh my blimmin' god. Guys, you have to try this recipe. It's like genuinely, that sponge didn't even hang around in my mouth. That just went straight down. It's so moist. It's so soft. This just reminds me of childhood. This is delicious. Nigella, thank you. This is incredible. I'm gonna run a warm bath and eat this in the bath. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you enjoyed me being back on YouTube. It has been a little while. I promise next week there will be another video coming. Again, another winter recipe. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but I hope you liked today's recipe. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel because every little helps. And I will leave everything in the description box below, ingredients, timing, etc. And I hope you have a lovely day and we shall see you next week. Bye guys. Oh my gosh. How can this be so good? I want some custard. Yum.